How does Quora determine if the answer that you've written should be shown to 10 people or a million people? Now, it's not just you and me who is writing answers on Quora. There are hundreds of thousands of writers who are writing answers to millions of questions out there. And there are 300 million plus active users who constantly seek information. And that is the reason why they're actively using Quora. Now, Quora, as a company that has been in existence for the past 12 years, has come up with complex algorithms that has allowed them to filter all the content that is out there and distribute it effectively in a way that the community can benefit out of that. So, guys, in this particular lesson, we are going to spend some time in understanding the Quora algorithm. But before we start understanding the Quora algorithm, let's understand the different bits that constitute or that come together for Quora to put into consideration. So there are three things that we'll talk about in this lesson. The first would be the Quora question, and then we'll go on to talk about the Quora answer, and then we'll discuss the factors that govern whether this particular answer should be shown to 10 people, 100 people, or 1,000 people. So let's get started. Now, the very beginning of any form of content on Quora starts with a question. So when Quora started off, the founders got their friends to start writing questions and start writing answers to these questions. And one of these people who were the early question askers were Mark Zuckerberg, because the founder, Adam D'Angelo, he was previously the CTO of Facebook. So basically, all the content that you see out there on Quora starts with a question. So let's start with the question. When a person asks a question, Quora does a couple of things. It provides this particular person the option to further ask this question or request other people to write an answer to this question. So basically, the people or the list that is populated by Quora to this particular person as recommendations would be people who've previously written answers to certain questions in categories. So for instance, I ask a question about the World War II, the era of World War II. Now, if I've asked this question, what Quora would next do is recommend people who are writers and very active in this particular topic or segment as writers. So I may have the option to personally request these people to answer this question. So this is stage one. After this has been done, Quora starts showing that question to more people who are likely to be interested in finding answers to this question. So once this starts happening, Quora starts noticing how keen people are in following this question. So if Quora shows a question to 100 people, and out of these 100 people, 20 people have clicked the follow button on this Quora question, Quora will further show this question to more and more people so that people can start writing answers, and ultimately it becomes a hotspot which attracts content creators, meaning people who write answers. And once people who write answers are attracted, it will further attract people who are seeking answers to this very question that has been asked. So a lot of times you would notice when movies are released, you will find a lot of these questions flooded on Quora and other platforms. So basically, a lot of content creators have understood this hack, and whenever they want to create content on a particular topic, they wait for it to trend. And once it is starting to trend, they ask a question on Quora. And once it starts to trend, as content creators, they can write answers to this very question and start getting reach and more views. So if we've discussed the first part, the question bit, we'll jump on to the answer bit. But before that, let's summarize the question bit in terms of numbers. Let's quantify it. So whenever you see a question, you can click on the three dots that you will see on the top, bottom right, and after that you can click on question stats. Once you've clicked that, you'll be able to see certain things related to the question. The first thing would be how many people have viewed the question. So logically, the higher the number of views, the higher the chances of your answer taking off on that question increases. The second thing would be how many people have already written answers to this question. So if more and more people have written answers to this question, yes, the competition would increase, but at the same time, the opportunity for you to get more views increases in case you've written an answer that truly adds value in the lives of the people who are reading those answers. Yes. The third thing would be how many questions have been merged. Meaning, Quora has a lot of questions which are very similar to each other. So, Quora starts merging all of these into one parent question. So, if a question has 745 or 800 merged questions versus a question has 10 merged questions, the one with more merged questions is better because it is like the grandparent who has a lot of other questions interrelated in there. But again, the competition increases. So once you start getting familiar with these things, you will start noticing patterns and you'll start shortlisting questions based on these three things and topics. So for example, if there is a question which is asking, say, what is Android development? So in this case, the categories or the topics that Quora will attach to this would be digital marketing. I'm not sure if it would be digital marketing, but a lot of times it is very random. But the short topics should be Android development, software development, etc. So basically, question constitutes of a lot of analytical things which usually people do not think about or people usually ignore. So I've spent a lot of time in considering and discussing this particular aspect. Now, once the question has been seeded, the next thing happens, which is the answers. Now, the answer becomes a little interesting. It is following similar trends as the question does, but there are certain new things that an answer should have in order for the algorithm to like it. So before we start discussing about the algorithm, let's just understand what truly defines a good answer. Like good answer irrespective of the algorithm liking it or not, but the human being reading it should like it. So let's discuss the hygiene points and the things that make an answer good from a human perspective first, and then we'll jump on to understanding how the algorithm sees an answer. All right. Well, the first thing that a good answer should have is a flow of the same language the question has been asked in. A lot of people usually end up writing answers to questions in different languages that ends up creating a lot of trouble for the people who are truly trying to find answers to that question because they truly do not understand that language. So one, your language should be consistent. And in case you're using any other language as a reference, you should pakka include the translation of that language. The second would be formatting. A lot of people end up writing, hundreds of lines in just a single paragraph without including images and relevant references to the links that gives you the context to the answer. So you should not do that. Ideally, a good answer should be structured. You should have 3 to 4 lines in one paragraph, and then you should be able to format it, use bold, italics, include citations and references, images, video links. So an answer should be something that provides context, at the same time answers the question and uses examples to further illustrate that. A lot of times people end up using and sharing their experiences before they start writing an answer, and this allows the reader to create an connection with the person who's written this answer. So analytically, a good answer would be well formatted, well written, answers the question precisely, provides context, uses examples, includes images, citations, references, and that should be a good starting point. Now, in terms of the algorithm looking at Quora as an answer, it starts with a few things. So the first thing that Quora looks at is the view to upvote ratio. So for example, let's say an answer has been viewed 1000 times, but there are 10 people who've liked it or upvoted that answer, or 1 people who've commented on it, versus 1000 people have seen it and 100 people have upvoted it. So Quora will obviously understand that out of these 1000 people who've read it, 100 people like this answer and some have gone to share it or comment it. So basically these are the weighted points that contribute towards the algorithm considering your answer to be good, bad, or great. Now another factor that would come in is how many people are sharing your content. So if people are sharing your content privately through WhatsApp messages or other forms, or sharing it on other social media platforms, in such cases Quora identifies that to be like a very good positive sign. That means people are finding your content or your answer to be good enough to be sharing that on other platforms. Similarly, if you're sharing it on Quora, that is also counted as a plus, but the positive or the weight of it being shared on an external platform is higher. Again, Quora does not publicly say that, but in my experiences on being on Quora, this is something that I've learned. Now, the next thing would be comments, of course, but there is no certain criteria as to if you have more comments, you'll get more views. But if a high profile, meaning a person with high number of followers, likes or upvotes your answer and then comments on it, then what happens is the Quora algorithm starts recommending this particular answer to this particular individual's followers. So let's say I have about 9,000 followers on my Quora profile, and I upvote one of the answers that you have written, and you perhaps do not have a lot of followers, let's say 100 followers. Then there are chances that Quora will start showing your answer, which I just upvoted, to my followers. But it will not be done instantly. All the 9,000 followers will not see that answer upvoted immediately. It will start showing it to some people, and based on how they react, it will start showing it to more people. So Quora as a platform does not treat each upvote or each comment as the same. The weight or the value of a comment or an upvote coming from a profile which is authoritative, which has a lot of followers, versus the same things coming from a profile which is new. In both these cases, you will notice that the person with a higher profile has more value in terms of the algorithm. Now, these are certain things. Now, a third contributing factor, which is usually invisible to the Quora algorithm but is great for your answer, is SEO, search engine optimization, meaning your answer that you have written is optimized to be discovered on Google. So Quora as a platform, as we've discussed in the past videos, allows people to find content on Quora from Google directly. So if your answer has been well structured, well written, then there are chances that Quora will recommend your answer to this external visitor that has come through a Google search. So far we've discussed two aspects. The first thing would be the question, and the second thing would be the answer itself. And if you would notice, there are a lot of similarities in the mannerisms in which the question and the answer behave. One of the key traits that allow your content to be discovered more and more is the number of people paying attention to that question itself. So while you're choosing questions which you intend on answering, ideally you should choose questions which have a higher number of followers or more following as compared to a question which is not so popular. So in the next stage, we'll discuss something called Quora Spaces, because this is something that has been introduced very recently. And with the introduction of Quora Spaces, there have been instances where answers as old as 7 years or 8 years have started becoming insanely popular. So Quora Spaces is a platform which enables readers and people to create their own spaces and share content. Meaning, you do not really have to write answers if you do not want to. You can always share somebody's answer in one particular space which is owned by you. Now, as any platform starts developing, a lot of communities started developing, and now there are 100,000 plus Quora Spaces with different topics. Like there are Quora Spaces which are dedicated to digital marketing, SEO, blogging. There are Quora Spaces dedicated to software development, writing, history, architecture, and whatnot. So basically, a Quora Space is a place where people can share content related to a topic or relevant to a genre. Now, the good thing is, if your content, if you've written good answers to topics, then what happens is the Quora algorithm starts recommending your answers to people who run these Quora Spaces so that they can share it on these Quora Spaces. So let's suppose I have written an answer about YouTube, and somebody decides to share that YouTube answer, the Quora answer that I've written on YouTube, in a very popular Quora space with 1 million followers. There are high chances that my answer would take off just because it was shared in this particular Quora space. So Quora's algorithm can be tweaked. It can help you bring alive your old answers if you've truly written it well, such that it is shared in these Quora spaces, and that allows you to gain momentum and find a new audience. So all in all, if we summarize, the Quora algorithm gets a little tricky if you start considering all the factors coming in: the question, the analytics of the question, the analytics of the answer, and if you start plugging in the Quora space in it, it becomes really interesting on what are the possibilities with these three things coming together. Well, there is something else, the Quora adds, but that is not really something that is governed by the Quora algorithm. So that is not really something that we'll be discussing in this lesson. So to summarize, the Quora algorithm does not just look at the answer that you have written for it to decide if it will perform or not. It also looks at the very question and the analytics to which you've answered that. And once you are done with the creation process, the distribution process is governed by a lot of factors, and Quora Spaces can really give you the edge to be liked by the algorithm. So there have been instances where I've written answers which have not get 10, 20 upvotes, but they've received 100 plus shares just because it was solid and it related and resonated with certain topics. And the Quora algorithm is again something that you should be concerned about, but not truly, because if you truly write an answer with the intent of adding value in somebody's life, and you write it with the intent that in the end some human will read it, and you optimize it such that the human reads it and likes it, then the chances of the Quora algorithm liking you increases substantially. So, in all, I'll summarize this lesson by saying if you're there on Quora, write content with the intent of adding value and give your best shot at it, because that very answer that you have written will continue talking about you and your thoughts even when you're asleep. And that is the power of digital marketing, and that is the power of Quora, which will start compounding and giving you dividends that you've not imagined, but only if you give your best shot at writing whatever answer you're writing on Quora. Thank you.